they said and Kevin Samuels don't even know you. He didn't do anything to your family, any of that kind of stuff. He was saying stuff on the internet that you disagree with.
And guess what?
Go ahead.
All the people know what he was saying was damn near almost the truth.
Right. And
statistically
I think
the truth.
Right. And I think hearing that, I think scared a lot of people. So they kind of was like, wow, like it really might be over for me if I have X amount of kids finding a man. Like it's not 100%, but it's getting up there. You like 80%. Like finding love is hard already. You're gonna throw that on top of it. It just makes it hard.
Let me ask you a question. I want to see how I prove Kevin's point.
Mm-hmm.
What is the chances of a person getting married at 70 years old?
It's about 10%.
What's the chance of a person getting married at 60 years old?
Well, you just say finding love.
Marriage. We talk about marriage.
Okay. No, I'm saying finding love and getting married. Because you can just marry somebody just to marry them.
I don't want to dig that deep into it.
Okay,
I just want to go by the U.S. What the U.S. called marriage.
Okay,
what's the percentage at 60 years old?
Probably double that. I say 20.
How about 50?
Still 20. I think it's 20. When you hit about 40 years old, you're probably about 40% of getting married, chances of getting married, and then it starts to go down every year after that.
Why is that?
Because you're out of your prime, number one.
Brandon, you are polarizing people, Brandon. You polarizing people, Brandon.
But
stop doing this hate.
But you know what?
With the butcheristic. What they call it with a show this down the mausoleist. They used to call them when a guy talks down to women all the time.
Oh, misogyny? Like, yeah, I'm being misogynistic.
Oh, so you misogynistic now, Brandon, for stating those facts? I think all the audience will almost agree. What's the odds of getting married when you're 100 years old? So it says the higher your age, the more probability you won't get married, and that's a human fact.
And I think what people miss is this society is built on looks. For the most part, everybody cares about looks. So at a certain point, your looks start to go down. So if our society is based on looks, your percentage of finding a partner is going to go down, especially if that's what you have. I'm not saying that's all you have to bring to the table, but that's what you're showing. That's what everybody's showing us, how nice they look.
Let's do it. Let's prove another one of his arguments. This could go for males, and females.
Mm-hmm.
What is your energy at the age of 20? How much energy do a male and female have at the age of 20?
A lot. That's when you're probably at your max. 20 to 25 is when you're at your max energy.
How about the age of 30?
It dips a lot.
How about 40?
It just keeps getting worse. Like you're probably at 50% at 40.
So let me tie this together. So if you have a child has a lot of energy, right?
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Would it be more beneficiary for a person to have a child at 30 or 50?
30.
So do you agree you should have a child out of marriage?
Yes.
So if it's more likely for you to get married at a lower age, and it's better for you and the child to have a child at a low age due to energy, why will you revoke against those statements?
It's because they don't like how it was presented. Like if we said it like we just did, it makes a lot of sense. But the way Kevin said it is the same thing. It's just a more blunt in how people don't like to take information.
Kevin Samuels didn't break it down. He just said the facts. You see how I had to lead you, guide a person?
And not only that, it's a lot of videos where Kevin Samuels did the same thing we just did and kind of broke it down that way. But it's, if you're doing 50 hours of content, he probably has about a minute about 5 minutes worth of times where he went disrespectful, but that's just part of, recording content and just saying stuff. It's not like, I mean, he goes live too. So you're just saying anything. You're just saying whatever comes to your mind. So it's not always going to be clean cut when you're doing stuff like that.
Brandon, can I ask you another question to prove one of his arguments?
Go ahead.
What is the average height for a male in America?
Average height is what, 5'10" maybe?
Around about 5'9", ain't it? All right, Brandon, how tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
How many people do you see taller than you in your life on a daily basis?
Maybe like 5%.
5%.
Maybe, yeah. And no, it's not even that. It's not even that much. It may be like 3%. It's not many people that are taller than me. I may see 4 people that are taller than me in a year. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
and that's being straight up.
Okay. All right. Okay. So height is being over a certain height is very limited in our human population, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why would a person goes to be chasing that 1 out of 1,000 or 1 out of 5 out of 1,000? Why that should be your goal, and you have to keep that standard,
right?
Where everybody want that 1 out of 1,000. Everybody want that lottery ticket, that winning lottery ticket.
I hate to say it, but women are wrong when they looking for a tall man. That doesn't mean anything. Like you can look for a tall man, that's fine. If you find one, that's fine. But you can't denigrate somebody that's 5'9" just because he's not tall enough. And we saw that a lot on Kevin Samuel's show. I want a tall man. He has to be over 6'2", and that's just not realistic. And that's why he got upset, and that's why he got mad sometime at women, because they don't get it. You got 3 kids. You can't be this picky. You can be, but you may be alone because of how picky you are. And that's fine. Marriage is about compromise. And if you're not willing to compromise, you may be single.
You're right.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if your goal is to get married and you put a lot of what I want to say, you just put a lot into the marriage and that life. If you're not married, it's going to mean a lot to you, and you're going to take that statement to heart.
You will. Let's do another one.
Go ahead.
Brandon, what's the average income? This is for all Americans. What's the average income for a American today?
I want to say it's probably lower than this, but I want to say about 30. Well, no. For the average man, it's about
no.
Well, just everybody combined.
Everybody combined in America.
Okay, I would just say 40,000.
I think the number is around 54. I think the number is around 54, and a family is like 70 something.
Okay.
All right. So, if most people make 54,000 in America, what's the odds of you finding a person that makes
250? Well, 6 figures.
Or they're just over. Okay, 250, 150, 120, 110. What's the odds of that?
It's not good. It's like Kevin was saying, and some of the other people saying, only 5% of men make $250,000. I think they were saying, what, 25% maybe, or 10% make 100,000. And like you can find somebody that's making 100,000, but when you think about it, $60,000 to $100,000, $40,000 seems like a lot, but that's not going to impact your life that much where you need to cancel somebody out in your dating life because they're not making what you think they should be making. Do you agree?
I agree. Cause watch this. On my taxes last year, it said I made $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
But how much money did I live off? Brandon, guess how much money I lived off? How much money came in my pocket off 100,000?
70?
$36,000. so when people,
you mean like after you pay bills? What do you mean?
No.
What you mean?
I'm talking about the money I had to work with, to spend, to live.
Okay.
So on paper, I made 100,000 on paper.
Mm-hmm.
But if you calculate how much I had to spend, $36,000.
And were you struggling to make ends meet?
By the grace of God, I don't struggle to make ends meets, but I do struggle on my wants. So let's put it like that. You see how it works? I don't struggle to make ends meets, but I struggle on my wants.
Right. But let me ask you a question. Like,
yeah,
I think that makes life worth living sometimes, like wanting things. Like, I think if you had everything you wanted, it wouldn't make life as good as it is. Like, because it wouldn't mean as much to you. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes if you don't have things, you can work towards them. You know, it kind of gives you purpose. I'm not saying working towards things is the only thing you should live for, but you may be